Hey everybody, today we're going to talk CSVs. Most importantly, how to put this CSV into a Cornerstone chart. So what I've got here is the all-time pros for the World Tennis Association, and arranged by name and the weeks they were pro. And we're going to use all of this in Cornerstone in a matter of seconds. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start from scratch and give us a little area to build this bar chart out. We're going to press the plus into bar chart, place it right in there, and we're going to set up our looper, CSV looper here. So I'm going to jump into customize. I'm going to go to bar chart and look for CSV. And by default it doesn't do anything, but if you press this link button, you'll actually get a list of CSVs in your media manager. Now you could always use a URL, and we'll talk more about that later, but since I've already uploaded, I can just click and insert right there. Now we're also going to, while we're here, set this as index by Y, and now let's create our label set. So earlier, you'll remember that the header of this CSV is a name, and so we're going to reference that here. We're going to loop this, or set this as the consumer. We're also going to rewind because we're going to reuse the same looper to, first off, we're outputting the labels first, and then going to output the data. So delete this. We're going to navigate to looper field, and we're going to say name, as that was the name of the header. And right off the bat, we see a bunch. And while I'm here too, let's set this as the top 10 because there is a lot. Cool. So we've set up the labels. Now we're going to set up the data. So I'm going to delete this for now. We're going to once again set up the consumer, and usually just a good idea to press rewind for what we're doing. And similar to the name, we're going to look for looper fields and look for weeks. Add this in, and right off the bat you see the data is now in there. And just like that, we've inputted CSV data into a Cornerstone chart. Now let's take a look at something a little more complex. So this is a CSV of, we're going to use month as the label, and the total sales, new sales, and recurring as our data. And since this is a little more dynamic, what I've gone ahead and done is utilize parameters to show you how to use this. So I'm actually referencing a live file here, but much like the example earlier, we can press that link, and I've set up a label column too, which we'll see. And now these parameters pipe right into the line chart, which we see here. Parameter CSV is what I called it. And using inner dynamic content, we've actually set up this using the parameter from earlier, the label column, to actually utilize that looper field, because this once again is using a consumer with rewind, same basic property as the name before. And then for actual data, I've set up parameters. Column key is what we'll use from the CSV, color, and then label to what we call it. And using that later in the actual data of a data set, we can pipe in this particular parameter column field as well as the color. And just like that, we've got something reusable we can use for CSV data, very similar to this. Now, some closing remarks is that with the external API, it actually has a return type down here of CSV. And so I recommend you do that because you can actually cache this. And so if you use a URL with just the pure CSV, it's going to grab that every time, which you could very well want to do, but even then I would recommend you do like 1 to 15 seconds just to make sure you're not hammering some API and maybe causing some issues. So hope you found this interesting. Hope you found it helpful. Have a great day.